to TTFromTheD, day 8 of the 30-day marriage challenge. Today, we are going to talk about, what's the hot topic for today?
You can't help yourself if you can't help me.
No. That shit don't sound right. I'm like, what? Nah. That definitely ain't it, sir. That is not it. That's not it.
You can't help me if you can't help yourself.
Okay, bet. That sounds much better. Shout out to Dr. Bird for giving us that topic. But Swift almost dropped the ball on that one. I can't take it. That was about the married people was going to be like, what? Holy Father, activate. Okay, so this is day 8. And we are super excited that you are taking this journey with us. I'm excited, Swift, because you are actually on board with me for TTFromTheD Podcast show. So thank you for getting up each and every morning, rocking it out with me.
Thank you for having me. Maybe because I'm tired, I said the name of the topic wrong.
You should have got you some sleep last night. But that's another story. Okay, so we're not going to hold you long. Let's pass this out. I'm not going to be before you long. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. But this morning, we really just want to kind of hone in on that. What does that mean? What's that title again?
The title of the segment is You Can't Help Me If You Can't Help Yourself.
And I enjoyed that topic when I heard it from Dr. Bird earlier. It made me think about when we sit down and we have conversation with our peers, other married couples, right? How is one married couple going to help another married couple when that one married couple is sketchy? We can't get advice from another married couple that's going through some things, or even the same thing as us, when they don't know what to do in their own union. You agree?
It really depends.
Oh, wait a minute. What you mean?
I mean, because it depends on what kind of advice you're getting from that couple.
I just said, sir. I just said, McVay, that means if we're going through the same thing, similar, and it's messy over there in their court, and it's messy over here, how they gonna give us some advice when they can't even help themselves?
They might have dealt with that sexual before, and this might be a continuation. Tell us something that we might be able to take. It might work for us. Two different entities. We're wired different. So just because it didn't work for them doesn't mean for us. This really depends say how we wired compared to how they're wired.
Now this is interesting because I didn't think we was going to be on this level. That's why I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this is not scripted. This is straight up from Swift and I, just natural. And I really thought we was going to be on one accord because I differ. I feel that I can't have somebody giving me advice when you're struggling in your own thing. If we were going through a situation and we were at a standstill, it's like having a negotiator. How are you sending a negotiator that don't even know how to get out the same situation if it was in their territory?
A lot of people don't apply what they know to their own situation. They might know certain things, but they might not apply it to the situation. Tell you, you might be the one that apply it to.
And if it works for you, great.
That's that morning yarn.
Excuse me. Excuse you. Yeah, no, you know what? Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so what you're saying is, what I hear you saying is, if I haven't applied something to my own thing and I'm going through something, but I have an idea and I give that idea to another married person to implement in this situation and it works out for them. If it was such good advice, why wouldn't you use it yourself then? I think that goes back to you can't help me if you can't help yourself.
Right.
But I just helped somebody with what I didn't help myself with. So that would bring me back to a point of, did I not want to help myself? Did I not want to help the situation, the circumstance?
Some people are hard-headed.
You said, I wish y'all could see him, y'all. This is so funny. He just did one of those like he was about to drop a mic. Some people are hard-headed.
Some people are hard-headed. Some people are in situations and don't want the other person to know the situation because they know that they're going to give them some solid advice, cause them pain. They're not going to use it. They don't want you coming back saying, see, you ain't using it, because they already knew in their head that they wasn't ready for that realness. They know they should be doing it, but they're not ready to do it. So I want you to tell them to do it because they want to do it when they want to do it, not when you tell them. And even though it may be real, feel hard-headed sometimes. But I feel what you're saying. That's just some people. At the end of the day, yeah, not all. But at the end of the day, I do feel a person, a couple that's going through something, not applying that to their marriage. Thinking like, why would I listen to this if this you're telling me not doing anything for y'all?
Okay, I can agree with that. I think when I look at, there are no perfect marriages. There are no perfect couples. We don't have all the advice or answers, I should say. Not advice. We all have advice. We don't have all the answers to all the issues that will manifest or has. We go by trial and error. We learn every single day. Whether you learn from one another, you learn from another couple, you learn from going to some conference, some marriage retreat, read some great book. There's still never going to be the perfect relationship. It's a work in progress. It takes me to when people say, marriage is hard work. Marriage is work. It is work. But I don't look at it as hard work. I look at it as how I look at life. You live it day by day. When you wake up, you don't think about breathing. You just do it. Right? You don't think about how many times you bat your eyelashes. It just happens. You don't keep a record of how many times you sat down, how many steps you took, unless you use a little Apple Watch thing or something like that. But what I'm saying, I'm using all these analogies, metaphors, is we do life like how I feel we do marriage, one day at a time.
But it may be hard for some, because there may be some kind of resistance in spouse, other they may not have been ready for.
Such as what?
It could be anything. Resistance could be conversation. One may agree on something. Comfortable type of conversation, or frustrating conversation. Time they revisit it, they never really come to an amicable settlement, and they can consider like, man, this is hard, because you're wired one way and the other person wired the other way. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But but I feel what you're saying. It's just like when you have a job that you love. It's not considered a job. If you love doing it.
Fuck you. You can record and be on stage and artist. You look forward to that. Yes. Even when you're on a rigorous schedule, you touring from city to city or state to state, and sometimes country to country, it's still something you like, okay, this is what I do. I love doing what I do. Versus sometimes I get up, and this is 100. I get up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel well. I don't feel like going into the office. But I push myself because people are dependent. And I know I'm doing it for other people. I'm not doing it for myself.
And although you're right when you say, no perfect, never come. I love marriage, and I mean some things that I do. Is natural.
That's so cute.
I do. I love it.
Who you in marriage with?
You.
Me. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just playing.
You want that confirmation real quick? But yeah, I do. So it doesn't seem hard. It's just it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's really real when they say that if you're not happy, you can't make anybody else happy.
We talked about that. We talked about that. And I think we got a little silly with it, but it was more of my point was, if you're unhappy yourself with you, it's not my job to make you happy. You have to be happy first within the person you are, inside your own skin. You look in that mirror in the morning or at night, and you look through your own pretty brown eyes. You have to be appeased with who you see. Not just the shape of who you are, but who you see. That's deeper than what we see with the naked eye. And it's a struggle sometimes. I've gone through it when I look in the mirror and I'd just be disappointed. Not so much on how I look, but it could be like, you just ain't doing your best. Or you know you were messed up. Or that wasn't a good decision. And that was choices, a lot of them that I made. A lot of choices people make. So when you're not happy within yourself, you owe it to yourself before you owe it to anybody outside of yourself to be happy. I don't expect you to be miserable but break your back trying to make me happy. Then I'm all geeked up and I'm happy and I'm looking at you like, what's wrong with you? And you like, oh no, I'm good as long as you're happy. No, it don't work like that.
And that's what I was trying to say when we had a conversation. That, you know, when you love someone, the person is you're not happy could be, that tends to drain the energy up from the person that loves you. I don't mean draining I gotta just, you know, you are one. You are one with your, you know what I'm saying? So therefore that automatically takes something out of you. See, hey, and even though they're doing as much as they can to try to do, they have to get into that zone and say, damn, I'm doing enough. It tends to spill over to the self-consciousness that you don't even want to come in. So now they have to not only try to help you get back on track, now they gotta fix themselves because of their flawed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can get crazy, and that's when you look at it and say, dang, it's hard because you have to fix all these different layers to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? That's the meaning when people say marriage can be hard. These can get off balance at times. You ain't finding that way to get back on balance. I suppose it can be hard for many. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you love yourself and you find that joy within yourself, you know, it's going to be very easy to spread that joy to your spouse and vice versa. And then now, you guys can really concentrate on each other where you need to concentrate on each other. If you can find that joy within yourself, you know.
I hear what you're saying. And it takes me back to the statement of today's topic. You can't help me if you can't help yourself. And I think that goes for inside of a marriage. You can't find your peace. How you gonna help me find mine? If we don't know how to communicate, how is another couple gonna come to us and talk to us about their problems of lack of communication? We don't even know how to communicate if that was our story. So I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to advise somebody else on something we haven't mastered.
That's why I was interested in going. I know you remember when I was interested in going to that retreat years ago before the pandemic hit. And it wasn't a retreat.
The one in Arizona?
Yeah. It wasn't. I forgot what it was called. But Sedona. But it wasn't a retreat to where it's like, we having problems in our marriage. Go ahead and go to a retreat to figure it out.
You wanted to go to Lake Minnetonka. You wanted to purify yourself.
Lake Minnetonka.
You wanted to go up under the Everfresh.
Sure, at first I wanted to go to Honduras.
I said hell no.
What's wrong with Honduras?
Because that's where Left Eye went and she never returned. Every time they go over there in them jungles, they don't come back.
That's not true.
That's true. They go up in the jungles, they be driving in the off-road trucks.
She found peace over there.
She did. She found peace and she left this life. Somebody else went over there seeking peace. They found it. They left this life.
Who?
I can't remember, but I know it happened.
I can't
you
remember.
Ain't about to go over there and find no level of peace because you going to bring your black ass
I
back
think
over
you don't know
there.
nobody else but Left Eye.
Okay, don't be trying to tell me.
And I'm not laughing at the left eye situation. I'm laughing at my wife, y'all.
Whatever.
She's trying to make it seem like she know a whole bunch of people that went to Honduras, and you only knew left eye.
Places like the Amazon, the jungle.
All right, let's really back.
You're so disrespectful. All I know is you're not going to Honduras on a peace retreat.
I wanted to go to Honduras, y'all.
Y'all heard that? Wanted. He don't even want to go no more.
Right. She done spoiled Dr. CB's plan. But anyway, rest in peace, Dr. CB.
I can't.
But it was just I just wanted to go to get myself together, like to make myself better mentally, physically, spiritually, what I ate, what I was eating, the whole nine, so I can come back and be a better person for myself, because I knew being a better person for myself could spill into being a better person for my wife and family, on that level. So self-care, what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with, treating yourself to some self-care.
We gotta talk. We're gonna do a show within these next days as we do 30 days. It's so important, ladies and gentlemen, about self-care.
Yeah, that's a whole nother segment or whatnot. But I say self-care can spill into what we're talking about now, because it's just the art of making yourself right, period. Not just because of a situation going on between you and this person, but just, self-care to make yourself right and getting yourself together just so you can be a better person, because when you're thinking right and feeling good, that can spill over to positivity to your spouse and your family. So,
I agree with that. And all silliness aside, on a serious note, I feel that we can learn from one another as married couples. However, I don't feel that we need to be advising other people on things we haven't mastered ourselves. And when I say master, if someone's coming to me and saying, well, hey, I'm having an issue with my wife or my husband, and we lack shared responsibility. Now, I feel comfortable advising them on that because we have a system. We know of several systems on shared responsibility. Talk to other couples about it, and some people feel certain ways, and we share our views, things of that nature. Now, in that same swing, if they talked to me and said, hey, if we were struggling with communication, because that's a big deal with a lot of couples, lack of communication. If we were on that page too, all I would be able to say is, you know what, girl, you know what, man, I feel you. He's struggling too in that same area. I'm not going to tell them on what I think they should do,
right?
Because I don't know what we should do.
I agree, and that's where when it comes to the scripture, it says, get the beam out of your own eye before you try to get the beam out of others. I don't know what scripture that is.
You probably need to look it up so folks don't think it's a Swifty McVayD verse.
Yeah, that's the scripture. I'm gonna go ahead and look for it right now.
That's from the Bible. It's the basic instruction before leaving Earth manual, according to Keith Hudson. Shout out to Keith Hudson. I got that from Keith many years ago. I thought that was classic. Like, you got your basic instruction before leaving Earth manual. I was like, no, I don't know what that. And when he broke it down, I was like, wow, okay, that's dope.
I think Matthew chapter 5. Nope, you know what? I think it's in Matthew chapter 7. So I think it's Matthew chapter 7 verse 5.
Is this fact? When people going through the Bible, I see, I ain't listen to them no more.
Yeah. It's in Matthew chapter 7 verse 5.
Matthew chapter 7 verse 5.
It says, you hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. That was the NIV version. The one I said before was the King James version. This came out of about the speck. You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye.
Right.
So you get all the dust and stuff out of your eye so you can see clearly. And once you're able to see clear, you can be able to help your brother see clear.
Got it. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you had the comic relief from us, but you also got the
I'm going
message.
to Honduras, though. Go ahead, babe.
In the next lifetime. Okay. Did your baby mama sing that? Jill Scott sing that?
That was Erica Badu.
Oh, my bad. I want Andre 3000. 445, so I was playing. Yeah, on a serious note. Yeah, hope that you found something that could relate to. Like, even if you touch and agree, if you don't agree, you agree. We all have opinions, but we thought like this would be something really interesting because a lot of times we tend to want to share advice, give advice, and there's nothing wrong with it, but please don't share negative advice. Please don't give bad advice. Please don't set your fellow man, fellow woman up for failure by giving them some negative information to try to work out their situation when it didn't work for you. If it didn't work for you, I don't think it would be right to give somebody else the same advice. Imagine taking a test and you got everything wrong. Why would you want to tell them what you put on your test? Because you got everything wrong. That means that they're going to get everything, right?
Absolutely.
So you could say, well, we tried this. Maybe it might work for you, especially if you were feeling like this could work for us. But you have to be both willing. You can't have one person trying to fix a relationship and the other person sitting there like, okay, watching you put in the work, watching you be dedicated, and they sitting there already know they love the relationship, but they just didn't inform you. So what's that word? What's that thought? People often leave the relationship mentally, emotionally, and spiritually before they ever leave it physically. We're hoping that you guys will stay together and love on each other and grow together. Teach one another, because we can all learn something from each other every single day. It doesn't have to be a huge, jaw-dropping situation. It can be something very minute. But it's important that we build every day, because marriage is work.
Yes, it is.
And, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. But no, seriously, marriage is work. But it's that good kind of work. When you love someone, you put in the work, you put in the time, you invest, right? And you say, hey, you know, like you've been doing a lot of Bob the Builder stuff around the house lately. I'm loving all of it, and but it's work, you know, and you're doing it day by day. I see improvements every single day. That means that you're growing through the process. I'm seeing the benefits of your sweat, your labor, but it's growth. And you share, you show me things every day when I come in, and I'm like, oh wow, I see the progress, and yeah, it's what's up. But it's taking work.
I agree.
That was just another metaphor. But anyway, that's all we have for you this morning. We hope that you would join us tomorrow for day number 9. And I hope that you got out and voted today. Today was a big day for voting. It was the first and only day we're gearing up and prepping for this day. We don't know what the outcome's going to be. Some states might know later on tonight. Some states may not know for a couple of days or so, but we're hoping that everybody got out and used their voices to vote. Very, very important. There's several ways that you can vote. There's no excuse. So, on that note, you guys have a wonderful day, and I am TT from the D.
Swifty McVayD in the house.
And we'll see you soon.
Peace.